Welcome to our Old World introductory video. We're just going to hop into a game real quick by going to single player and featured game, which will put us into a game as Greece, with King Philip as the ruler, Alexander as an heir, and your capital already founded with a few units available to get started. Basically, as you'll see whenever loading up a standard game of Old World. So we've got our capital already set up. Capital has a settler started, which will allow us to establish a new city in 5 turns. But right off the bat, we're going to want to start moving our units around. We can see we have a worker, a warrior, and a scout. We're going to start with the worker. He has a few things he can do, so just build a quarry, a farm, or a mine to start gathering resources. We're going to have him start with the mine, as we've got this nice little ore tile that's going to start bringing in a good chunk of iron for us to build units with later. After that, we're going to start moving our scout around. But before we start moving him, I want to point out this little orders icon down in the bottom left corner next to our portrait as King Philip. We can see that we currently have 4 orders remaining. Now, we need an order in order to move a unit around. And you can see that if I want to move this scout here, this is going to cost me 1 order. If I want to move him here, it'll cost 2 orders. And if I want to move him all the way to this hill tile out here, that's going to cost me 3 orders. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. He's going to find some gold horses and some marble nearby, as well as having come near this city site where we can potentially found a new city with a settler. That's used up 3 orders, and I've got just 1 order left for the turn. I can either move this scout again, or I could move this warrior around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move this scout, as the scout moves very quickly and sees a very long ways into the fog, so he'll be able to uncover the map very quickly if I move him around. I'm going to need to choose some research before I can end the turn. We'll go ahead and pick up divination, which will unlock the shrine improvement for us. That'll allow our worker to make our cities a little bit better by building shrines around them. And we'll go ahead and end the turn. This is going to refresh our orders, and it looks like we've got an heir education event. Told you Alexander was currently our heir. He'll take over once King Philip passes away. And we need to decide how to educate him so we can know what kind of ruler we want him to be. I'm going to choose to have him study philosophy. That'll improve his wisdom stat and make him a little bit better at science once he comes into power. We can keep moving the scout around. He found a ruin last turn, an ancient ruin. That'll pop us a nice little fruit trees event when we discover it. Could be any kind of event. In this particular case, we got fruit trees. And we can either take the fruit home for food, chop them down for wood, or let our artists gaze upon them for culture. I'm going to go ahead and take the wood for the time being. We've also found some galls. We can either choose not to get into a fight with them, maintain the truce, and gain a little wisdom for more science on our ruler, King Philip. Or we can just go straight to war. I'm going to choose not to go to war right away, as it's only year 2, and I don't have that many units yet. I'll let the scout kind of pop off back in this direction. Check out the tops of some hills so we can see a long ways. Looks like we found a nice source of wheat and another city site. So this is going to be a great place for a city, as we'll be able to get plenty of food once we've brought a settler here and established a new city. We're going to go ahead and have our warrior move a fair ways to start peeling back the fog. That's actually used up all of his moves and 4 orders all at once. You can see the warrior has 4 moves. The scout over here actually has 5, but they're both done moving for the turn. So even though we have 5 orders left, we're going to end the turn and refresh the moves on our units. First things first, we'll have the scout wander to the east. Looks like he's found another ruin. In this case, I found some roads. I can either break down these roads for stone, get a little experience on the ruler to level him up and increase his stats, or I can study the roads and gain the labor force technology in order to learn how to build roads myself. So I'm going to do that since I don't know how to build roads yet. We'll have the scout keep wandering around, hit another hill. Looks like we actually found another ruin. Became known as the Explorer. That's increased our legitimacy. That's going to give us an extra order per turn from having found so many ruins. In this case, I found some monuments of law. I can either learn from them or smash them to pieces and gain some stone. So I'm gonna take the 150 stone. So I've got a nice big stockpile of stone that I can use to build improvements. Have our warrior start wandering around. You'll see he's not as good at uncovering new territory as the scout, but he can still see a little farther from the top of the hill, and he found us a nice new city site that we'll have to investigate, see if there's anything worthwhile around it. So we can have this warrior kind of wander off this way. He found some gems near the city site, so that's nice. Some gems, some citrus, some game. So it won't be that bad of a city site, but I still prefer the wheat area. Unlocking labor force has given us access to a couple of laws. We can either choose to keep slaves or not keep slaves. If we keep slaves, we'll gain some extra orders, but our people will be unhappy about it. Or we can choose not to do that, and instead we'll get a nice boost to science in each of our cities. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to enact freedom rather than slavery in the empire. And we'll just keep wandering around. Found some more Gauls. So we know that we are got Gauls to the north, Gauls to the west at this point. And we've moved all of our units, so it's time to end the turn again. Let's see, we finished up divination, so now we've got a bunch of new techs available. We can either learn how to trap game, build pastures around horses and cattle, research some new laws for our nation, or learn how to build spearmen. I'm not that concerned about knowing how to build spearmen yet, so I'll just choose husbandry. Let us exploit these horses and these cows that we've got near our capital. Our worker finished up his mine. He could build this farm. He could run over here and build a shrine. But I think we're going to have him run up here and build a quarry next to these mountains. Get a nice little stone boost from that. I want to have plenty of stone coming in for later if I want to build more improvements and wonders. Our scout has found the Vandals, so we have to decide how to react to them. Which either we can think about how to destroy them, or think about how cool they already are and hang out with them. So we're going to go with observing their ways and traditions and become intelligent. That's going to make our ruler a little bit better at governing cities and potentially unlock some additional options during events that might require us to be intelligent to take advantage of them. Have our scout keep wandering around, see if he can find his way back home, kind of blocked off by the mountain range and the lake at the moment. And the warrior will just poke around a little bit to the south, see if he can, there we go. See, we found some horses near this city site, so now we know we really want to take this once we have finished claiming the wheat over to the west. Turn 6, Alexander has finished his studies. He can either learn how to spread knowledge to others or turn inward for self-discovery. This will give him a bonus to either culture as a governor or growth as a governor. I'm going to choose the growth, as Greece naturally produces plenty of culture in their cities already. New settler has popped out of our capital. We'll take him up to the northwest. Just found a nice little city here. I have to choose which family I would like this city to be. I've got one that's good at training units, one that's good at making money, one that's good at improving its own culture and its own projects within the city. And so I think I'm going to take the one that's good at training units for the time being. This is also going to grant us a scout when we found it, and that sounds nice to me. All right, looks like founding our city has also led us to meet someone from Egypt, so we're going to show them our goodwill with a gift of just 80 money. We have 500 money, so 80's not that bad. Got our new scout here. He can start wandering around. We still have 10 orders left, so plenty to move our scouts around, despite having had to send our settler out, which consumed a decent number of orders this turn. That scout's all done. The scout can start moving around a little bit. See what he can see. Looks like he's found his way back home. We're having him jump from hilltop to hilltop so he can see plenty of things on the way. And one order left. We can move our warrior down to the south a little bit. A little bit sad after moving the scouts, but better than nothing. Our capital needs something to do. I'm going to have him start on a new settler so we can claim one of these additional 2 city sites, but I'm also going to have Sparta start building a warrior, as we only have 5 turns left until these city sites are taken over by barbarians and become hovels. And once that happens, we're going to need to drive them away in order to be able to found a city there ourselves. So I want to start preparing for that now by starting up a warrior, and in a few turns, we'll have to drive these barbarians out so we can make sure that we can keep expanding our own empire. For the time being, though, that's a look at the first few turns of Old World. Should set you up in order to continue your own run, and good luck and have fun.